Testing, testing. 3, 2, 1. You can? Okay. I can't hear myself, which is not the worst thing in the world, but would be okay. Um, let's see. I feel like there's some piece of something that we're not doing. I mean, I guess testing 3, 2, 1. It's baseball from Fox Field. Oh yeah, yeah. See, now I'm getting a little bit. It's actually getting a little bit of static right here too. Let's see what we can adjust and make that sound better. Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff going on here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm liking this better though.
Yeah.
Are you getting what you need?
Yeah, it's a little loud, but
It's a little loud. I can dial it back.
yeah.
Let me cut it back a bit. All right. How about that? Is that a little better? I
Yeah,
can.
that's really good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
Because
really
I'm probably gonna get a little louder. Like if there's a good play,
yeah.
big play. Um, but if you're liking that, we can leave it there and we can adjust. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, you got too loud on that last one. That I don't know. I mean, we can just like it. Yeah, again, just listen to it during the game, and you know, yeah. Baseball time again from Fox Field in Lynchburg. The University of Lynchburg Hornets welcome the York College Spartans in town on this first Saturday in March. Kyle Haney hanging out with you, and we've got a great baseball game planned for you. It's part of a full weekend of baseball here at Fox Field. One today between Lynchburg and York, and then they'll double dip tomorrow. First pitch scheduled for 11 a.m. We hope you can see us out at the Diamond here, or you can always tune in on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Yeah, it's Zach Potts on the mound again for the Hornets today. He brings his 2-0 record to the bump, 6 strong in his first 2 appearances this season. And the Lynchburg Hornets as a team, 5-1, 4 wins in a row for the 13th ranked team in the nation. They'll take on a York College team that is playing good baseball, 3-1. It's 3 wins in a row for the Spartans as they did a Myrtle Beach trip spring break earlier this week. York College actually had one home game this season as well. They've got some returning bats in the lineup that are going to be formidable for Zach Potts and the rest of the arms here for the University of Lynchburg. We'll discuss that and so much more as the day goes on and as the weekend goes on. 57 degrees and sunny here in Lynchburg. Low humidity but high winds out there. So we had some rain last night. Tarp was on, but the sunshine and the winds are drying things out very quickly. It is a windy day. It looks like sustained winds in that 10 to 15 mile an hour range, but the gusts are up around 20 and 30 miles an hour, and it's enough to play tricks with the baseball when it goes up in the air. So we will certainly keep our eyes on that, the pop-ups and the fly balls, see what the effect the conditions outside have, and it looks like even better weather on tap for tomorrow with a high scheduled to be in the mid-60s. And it looks like we're going to get more sunshine. No rain in the forecast this weekend at all. We're done with that, and we are excited to have you watching on LHSN. Zach Potts on the mound for Lynchburg. The battery mate will be Holden Fiedler. Fiedler's been in the lineup a bunch this season, and the infield configuration slightly different this time around for the Hornets. They've got Avery Neves over there at first base. This will be his first action at first base this season. Has played there some in his career, so it's not a complete unknown for the All-American Avery Neves at first base, but we'll keep our eyes on that. Brandon Garcia is back at shortstop for Lynchburg. Started the first 3 games for the Hornets on their trip down to Georgia, but was not in the lineup the last 3 games for Lynchburg as Potts gets strike 1 in there to begin the day. We were scheduled to go at 1:30, got pushed back slightly, but we got the first pitch in there at 1:45 today as Potts gets to a 1-1 count. Leadoff man is Robbie Elzinger for York, and he is putting together a pretty good season so far to follow up what was a great campaign last year for Elzinger. He led the team in average and was at the top of the charts in most of their statistical categories offensively. Elzinger batting from the left side without the batting gloves, which I like. That's the old school throwback look right there, but he does have the arm guard on the elbow, so it's a little bit of old school and new school for Robbie Elzinger, but he's a tough out. He is over 400 on the season so far this year, 471 in 4 games for York. He's had a hit in all of those games. He's got 4 doubles, so the power is there. It's a combination of power and speed for Elzinger. He's drawn 4 walks, and he's only struck out once early in the year. First game of March for both these ball clubs. So February baseball is done, and you can't read too much into the early season results, but it is nice to get off to a good start, which both of these 2 ball clubs have done. Lynchburg at 5-1, York at 3-1. Full count here to begin the day. That's a fastball high that will send Elzinger to first base. Potts does not walk many hitters, so when he does, it's always a bit of a surprise. Zach Potts, the senior from Goochland High School, 12 innings pitched. He's only walked 4 in 12, so it's the 5th walk of the season there for Zach Potts. And we'll see if he can work around that leadoff base on balls. Hacking at the first one is Gabe Trevina, another York College bat that is having a great start to the season. Gabe Trevina hitting .421 with 8 hits himself in the 4 games. 0-1 count as Trevina swings it to first. He'll offer it to second and foul that one back as well. We got a great crew up here in the press box, working the LHSN broadcast. We'll tell you more about the vibes up here in the booth before we're done. Potts will toss over to first base and keep a watch on Robbie Elzinger. Does have speed. No stolen bases yet on the season for Elzinger, but obviously in that leadoff spot, you got to believe he's a likely candidate to take off at some point, and Potts certainly understands that game plan as well. 0-2 coming up here on the two-hole man, Gabe Trevina for York College. About a 4.5-hour trip for York College out of the southern part of Pennsylvania. They played Lynchburg on this weekend last season as Trevina swings and misses at the ball outside. So a strikeout in the books for Potts, and there's one away now in the top of the first. Yeah, this is a matchup that Lynchburg and York have been doing for a while. They met on this same weekend last season. I think it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday last year, but Lynchburg won all three, and in fact, it's an 8-game winning streak for the Hornets against the Spartans. So maybe York trying to extinguish some of those demons and get on the winning side against Lynchburg. You don't even think about that revenge factor as much in college baseball, though, because you play so many games. You end up playing 40 games. You might have to go back in the memory banks, the file, to remember, oh, yeah, we lost 3 to Lynchburg last year. Let's really get this one. And baseball is kind of that even-keel sport anyway, where you want to not get too high and too low. So you're probably not thinking about a trio of losses from 365 days ago too much when you come into this one today. Potts takes another look over there at first base to keep an eye on Elzinger. At the plate, it's Michael Teneni. Third baseman for York swings and misses that offering from Potts, and it's a 1-2 count now with one gone in the top of the first. Around the diamond again for Lynchburg, it's Avery Neves at first, Ryan Long at second, Brandon Garcia back at the shortstop spot, and Gavin Collins at third. Teneni fouls that one into Wake Fieldhouse to our right. In the outfield today, it'll be Logan Webster in left, Carson Atkins in center, and Jackson Harding roaming around in right field for the Hornets. The battery again is Potts and Fiedler. Potts deals to Fiedler, and he's got another strikeout. Fastball up that Teneni could not lay off of. And now we've got 2 away for Andrew Santarpia. Right-handed hitter steps to the dish. He's playing first base for York College today. Santarpia is second on the team in average, and he's actually leading the team in hits. 9 hits in 4 games for Santarpia. So the offensive numbers are really good for York through 4 games. They hit over .316 as a team. They're banging out some extra base hits as well, 16 of them. Breakdown on that is 10 doubles, 3 triples, and 3 homers. That's all in 4 games' work for York College. So they are swinging the bats well so far as Santarpia fouls that one back. York College, coached by Mike Scappa, 2-time conference coach of the year. Won his last one in 2021. He was a great player for York College, a switch-hitting catcher in the 90s for the Spartans. So he shares that with Lynchburg coach Lucas Jones. Both head men here today were very good players in their own right at their alma mater. Santarpia will foul that one away, and now it's another 2-strike count. Potts walked the leadoff man, Elzinger, but since then, it's been a lot of balls in the zone. Potts likes to pitch to contact, has the control, and you're seeing it here, going after guys. Fastball up, good ball for Fiedler to throw, but the ball short hops into second, and Elzinger will head to third. It'll be a stolen base and probably an error in there as well to let him get to third base. In scoring position now with a 1-2 count. 4-hole man Santarpia at the plate. Fastball up. Catchers are going to love that. But Elzinger got a good jump, good speed, and maybe not the cleanest release there from Fiedler. Potts, slider away, got him. One stranded on third, and that's how the top of the first will end with the strikeout. We head to the bottom of the first. 0-0 ball game. Hornets come to bat next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Bottom of the first on the way here at Fox Field. We're just off Lakeside Drive in Lynchburg. A nice spring day out there. With the wind, it's got a little chill to the air, fans, but plenty of sunshine, and it's going to get a few degrees warmer before we end the afternoon. Due up for the Lynchburg Hornets, Brandon Garcia, Cam Lane, and Avery Neves. 1, 2, 3. And this is an offensive unit that has put up some pretty gaudy numbers themselves this season. And, of course, the last 2 years, Lynchburg's offense been not just one of the best in the ODAC or one of the best around, but one of the best offenses in the country. This is the left-hander Brandon Garcia stepping back in there. His first action in 3 games. Didn't play last weekend. Didn't play in Lynchburg's win against William Peace on Tuesday. Talk about that 11-10 Hornet victory some as the afternoon goes on. It's the most recent game for Lynchburg, so you kind of frame everything around that. Garcia will hack at this one. It's not going to stay in play, and an 0-2 count early for the freshman, Brandon Garcia. Started the first 3 games at shortstop. He is from Durham, North Carolina, Jordan High School. The average coming in just 167, but he's obviously somebody that Lucas Jones and his coaching staff believes in. You're not going to be in that leadoff spot as a freshman if the coaches and really the entire team doesn't think you can get the job done as Garcia. With great plate discipline there to let that one go outside for ball 1. The field is really in good shape considering we got a lot of rain. Garcia will bounce that one to the second baseman, scooped up, relatively no problem. And we've got one down here in the bottom of the first. Yes, some rain yesterday in Central Virginia, but the tarp was on. Got the word from assistant coach Oscar Garcia that they pulled the tarp at 8 a.m. this morning, and it's been windy all morning, and the sun did get out pretty early. Not really any clouds in the sky, so that dried things up pretty fast. The teams did not hit batting practice on the field, which normally you're going to do. Breaking ball first pitch there from Zach Reed. Came in low, but I like the action on that. Keep an eye on that breaking ball from Reed. That could be a wipeout, kind of a strike pitch that could just dominate hitters as Cam Lane swings at the fastball. 1-1 count. Didn't hit batting practice on the field. Both teams got some work in the cages. And probably going to be dry enough for the ball clubs to hit BP on the field tomorrow before the doubleheader. Sometimes coaches will not hit BP on the field before a doubleheader just because it's a long day. You're on your feet a long time, especially if you're a starter. So maybe you forego the batting practice on the field, just get some light work. All those options will be in play for both of our coaches here as Cam Lane will strike out, swinging. And now we've got 2 away for the All-American, Avery Neves. Zach Reed, effective here to the first 2 hitters. And Zach Reed comes into the ball game with 1 start. It's a 2.57 earned run average. He went 7 innings in that start, but got a no decision. Did not factor in the decision. Gave up 2 earned runs. He struck out 6 on the season, now make it 7 after Cam Lane goes away swinging. Neves will check the swing on the fastball that ran inside on his hands. 2-0 count now. For a guy who can do major damage in any count, but especially a hitter's count. Avery Neves up 2 balls, no strikes. Check the swing again. That one will go down as a strike. You can see Reed already got something a little funky out there that seems to bother hitters a little bit. Maybe hard to get the full look at him. You're getting a good look on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, but you see Neves kind of check that one again. I think that ball's got some run into a right-hander. Moving back into the body and the hands of the right-handed swingers. Maybe deceptive movement as well. 3-1 count. That one wasn't close. Neves, no problem taking the walk there, something that he has done quite a bit in his career. Set the Old Dominion Athletic Conference single-season walks record last year, Avery Neves did. And he's on board with walk number 12 of the season. Logan Webster steps to the plate with 1 on and 2 away here in the bottom of the first at Fox Field. Lynchburg wearing the home whites, white pants. Probably see the red tops tomorrow for Lynchburg. York is in those road grays with the classic Spartan look. The Michigan State, of course, wears the green. Norfolk State, another Spartan team, they wear the green and yellow. Trying to think of some Spartan ball clubs that don't wear green. Webster swings and fouls that one back into the netting. 1-1 count with 2 gone in the the bottom of the first inning here at Fox Field. Game 1 of 3 this weekend. It's a doubleheader tomorrow that we are very excited about. We're going to have all hands on deck with the LHSN crew tomorrow, but this ball got away from the first baseman. Neves will scamper to second. So now in scoring position is a very good base runner, Avery Neves. We've been talking about his ability to impact a game in so many ways. Even when he's not swinging the bat, Avery Neves is an impact player, all parts of the diamond, base running included. He's got a bunch of stolen base in his career. That one not a stolen base, obviously an error, but you see the speed there from Neves, and now he's in a position to score. And he's a great base runner. So you don't necessarily have to hit a ball to the fence or in the gap to score him. He could score on a base hit that just squeaks through the infield or goes right to an outfielder. Good hitters count now for Logan Webster. Webster comes into the ball game, a sophomore, hitting .364 early in the year for Lynchburg. Fouls this one off the top of the dugout. Now it's a 2-strike count with 2 gone in the bottom of the first. Yeah, Logan Webster, a double and a home run this season. He's already driven in 5, walked once, struck out once. Avery Neves at second base, bouncing off as Zach Reed, the pitcher for York, looks in to get the sign. Long look at Neves, deals. Webster punches that one into the left center gap, and it will score Neves, no problem. Webster's going to take the turn around first and think about a double, but he'll hold there, and the Hornets are on the board. 1 run in the books for Lynchburg. They lead 1-0 with Jackson Harding up to the plate. That one hit hard, right on the nose by Logan Webster. A good season for him continues. This Lynchburg ball club's got so many veterans, so many guys that have been around, so many grad students and seniors, but Logan Webster, not in that category. He's a sophomore, and Brandon Garcia, the freshman who led off, so there's definitely a good mix of young and old for Lynchburg this season. Jackson Harding is one of those veterans that we discussed. He's a grad student from Keysville, Randolph-Henry High School in Charlotte County. Harding's going to bloop that one over the shortstop, and the inning continues. Webster, turn and burn around second, no throw at third. Nice base running from Webster. With 2 away, he doesn't have to worry about the shortstop catching the ball. If he fields it in the air, the inning's over, so Webster running hard on the play, and he'll get to third base. First and third situation now after back-to-back singles for the Hornets. And that brings up number 15, Gavin Collins, the third baseman. Hard-hitting junior Gavin Collins, a Old Dominion Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year a couple seasons ago. He's now a grizzled veteran as just a junior. Hitting .333 on the season. He's driven in 5 himself. So Zach Reed in a spot of bother here in the bottom of the first. As a pitcher, you know you're facing their best bats to lead off the game, but you ideally hope you can kind of ease into things and get comfortable with the mound, comfortable with your stuff, comfortable with the opponent. Watch out for Gavin Collins. Hit hard, going to take the left fielder back, and it's caught on the run. Good grab out there in left by Brent DeWeese for York College. Brett DeWeese making the grab to end inning number 1, but the Hornets on top, 1-0 after 2 hits and 2 left on, 1 error for York as we go to the top of the second on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Second inning about to get underway from Fox Field, and it's Brendan Martin at the plate for York College. And a correction, it was Brendan Martin in left field that made that outstanding grab there to end the inning. So apologies to the Brendan Martin fans that might be listening. We know we probably got some York College fans watching right now and just some college baseball fans tuned in, hopefully anyway. There's a lot of great action this weekend. Feels like every ODAC team has some activity going on this weekend with either 1 or 2 or 3 games like Lynchburg. We'll try to maybe get some score updates at some point here as Martin takes a good rip on that inside fastball. Yeah, with the wind and how well that ball was hit by Gavin Collins to end the previous inning, Martin really did well to track that down and actually almost made it look easy. He'll try to bunt. Collins is going to sprint to the dugout. Can't get under that one in time. And now it will go 1-2 now on the leadoff man, Brendan Martin, who is number 4 and playing left field for York College. York College was 24-19 last season. Here's a bouncing ball to Gavin Collins. Fields on a waist-high, hop, throw. Neves can't dig it out, and Martin's going to try to take off to second. Looks like he's going to get there. Neves pumped the throw, but decides to just hold on to it. Probably a base hit with an error there as Collins battling some arm issues. Shoulder problems for Gavin Collins. It's still not quite 100%. Did nicely to catch that ball on a pretty even hop, waist-high, and he got the legs into it, shuffled across, but the throw just a little low and unable to be dug out by Avery Neves at first base. So the leadoff man is on. The leadoff man is in scoring position for Bryce Schaefer, the designated hitter for York College. Schaefer will hit that one back up the middle. Potts had a chance, but it'll get fielded nicely. They got him at first. How about the play from Ryan Long? Backhanded, and then actually spun around the opposite direction of the arm. The 360 around to unload and get it to Neves, who made a nice stretch. Schaefer stumbled coming across the bag, but it is an out. And now there's one away with a runner on third. Infield stays back at normal depth for Lynchburg, except for the corners. Neves and Collins, first and third respectively, are in even with the bag. Neves is probably actually a few steps in front. Outfield, medium depth here at Fox Field. Here's a bouncer to Neves. He'll catch and wisely decides to run up and tag the runner there. Unassisted for Neves. Smart play, and he takes the long look at the runner at third, Martin, to hold him there. And now, just like that, there's 2 away. So you're seeing how good Zach Potts is. Pitches to contact, gets a lot of ground balls, a lot of soft contact for Zach Potts. Talking with pitching coach, associate head coach Travis Beasley for Lynchburg about Potts. He doesn't miss a lot of bats, but he misses a lot of barrels. It is hard to really hit him cleanly and on the nose. Got that subtle movement, really locates it well, locates all the pitches well. Fastball, slider, changeup for Zach Potts. Going after the hitter here and becomes a 1-1 count. On number 13, Amidio Bucci, the catcher for York. Left-handed hitting catcher steps in there, looking at Zach Potts. Potts with a grunt there on the mound, might be digging a little deep. Wants to keep the shutout intact early here for the Hornets. 1-2 count now on Bucci. Martin standing at third base. It was a leadoff single, and then got to second on the misplay at first. Potts, great location outside there. That ball coming in just right on the batter's box line for what would be a right-handed hitter. And good plate discipline by Bucci to lay off of it. Excellent work there by Potts. See what he comes back with next. Maybe the slider in. Catcher set up from Fiedler. Looks like it. Potts hit him, I think. Yeah, Bucci certainly thinks it hit him. He's tapping his knee. The better option might just be to run down to first and sell it that way to the umpire rather than saying it hit me. But, gosh, certainly from our vantage point, it was close. And there was 2 distinct sounds there. It may have been the ball hitting the ground rather than hitting Bucci. Potts will deal. That one's right down Main Street. Bucci can't pull the trigger, and the inning is over. Another strikeout for Zach Potts. He's got 4 of them on the day, and Lynchburg will go to the bottom of the second, holding on to the 1-0 advantage over York College. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Lynchburg Hornets. Ryan Long, Holden Fiedler, and Carson Atkins. We'll see if Lynchburg can turn that lineup over. Anytime you can have your leadoff man getting his second at bat in the second inning, feels like it's going to be a good day. And Lynchburg has that possibility here. Ryan Long, second baseman, stepping to the dish. Excellent defensive play in the top of the second for Ryan Long to help preserve the shutout. The junior from Virginia Beach comes into the game hitting .273. Played 24 games last season, 52 hits in his career. So maybe not quite the bulky, deep resume like some of these batters for Lynchburg, but Ryan Long definitely with experience, plenty of it in his career. He was 2 for 2 and really led the offensive attack for Lynchburg in their first game of the season. Breaking ball misses away for Zach Reed. Let's see if Reed can settle into things a little bit here for York College. Looks like he's got great stuff. I'm really loving the action on Reed's breaking ball. Catcher sets up in and missing away there is Reed. Good take from Ryan Long to run it to a 2-2 count. Nobody gone here in the bottom of the second between Lynchburg and York. College baseball season in full swing. So much great action. Long will foul that one back, and we'll get another 2-strike delivery from Zach Reed. Reed with the 1 start, went 7 strong, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned run. Only walked 1 in that appearance where he did not get a decision. A couple wild pitches in there and a hit batter. As Long pops this one up. Catcher Bucci might have a play. Gets to the backstop, but he'll watch it go into the stands. We do have a good crowd here at Fox Field today. We'll call it 60% full over there on the home seating section, and some York fans made the trip down from southern Pennsylvania. Of course, got players on the roster from all over. We may get into that at some point here. We'll need to save some talking points and some items for tomorrow's doubleheader. Those college baseball doubleheaders can drag on a little bit sometimes. Not that it's boring out there on the Diamond fans, but it just can take a long time as Ryan Long misses at the fastball up, and there is 1 gone in the bottom of the second. Back to Reed. Talked about how much I like his breaking ball. His fastball's not shabby either. Elevated it there. Long couldn't lay off. Really got good rhythm, good action, good balance, all those things you want from a pitcher. Clearly passes the eye test. And the numbers back things up for Zach Reed as well. Reed is a 6'6" senior from Glenville, Pennsylvania. So he's got the eye test passed on the roster as well. 6'6", long and lanky, can use that leverage to generate some velocity. Those taller pitchers don't seem to have to work so hard to throw the ball hard. Get to easy gas is what they call that in the big leagues. Smaller guys have to load up, exert themselves a little bit more. And you see, I think the number's something like 90% of the pitchers in Major League Baseball are over 6 feet, as Holden Fiedler, the catcher for Lynchburg, drives one to the right fielder, but no problem there in right. And there's 2 gone for Carson Atkins, number 12 for the Hornets, a fixture in that 9-hole spot. Started every game so far this season. He's been in that 9 spot every game as well. That double leadoff man concept for Coach Lucas Jones. Loves having Carson Atkins down there to start rallies at the bottom of the order. Sometimes your 9-hole hitter might get more fastballs than a typical leadoff guy does, just because the conventional thought is he's at the bottom of the order. Maybe he's not that great of a hitter, but that is not the case with Carson Atkins. I think he really does a lot of damage against teams that take him for granted down there at the bottom of the order. He was an ODAC Player of the Week in early March last season. He's got 108 career hits. Carson Atkins has to move the chin out of the way of that fastball that came in from the big 6'6" Zach Reed. And it's a 1-2 count now with 2 away. Bottom of the second here at Fox Field in Lynchburg. Atkins ready to go. Almost bit on that breaking ball that dove low. But it is a ball, and now the count even at 2-2. Reed out of the windup, deals and gets the fastball in on the hands of Atkins. He can't connect, and the inning is over. 2 strikeouts there, no hits, no walks, no errors, none left on. We'll go to the top of the 3rd inning. Lynchburg leading York 1-0. You're watching all the action on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. A quiet bottom of the 2nd for Lynchburg as Zach Reed, the starter for York, may be settling in here. We've got a 1-0 ball game. Hornets on top with the 1 run in the 1st inning. It was Avery Neves with the walk for Lynchburg, and Logan Webster ended up driving him in with a hard single in the left center gap. Here comes Garrett Kyle, the 9-hole man for York College, the shortstop. A man with 2 first names, as our crew already commented up here. Garrett Kyle steps in. He started all 4 games for York. They've played 4. They're 3-1. And the lineup has been pretty set for York. Looks like they've got 8 players that have started all 4 games. So maybe the one spot in there has been shuffled around a little bit. Bryce Schaefer getting his 3rd start of the season. Schaefer's hitting 6th for York today. Kyle behind in the count here, 0-2. He'll flare this one over the first dugout, the first base side dugout, as we got a short visit from an All-American, Grayson Thurman, stepping in the press box again to give us some technical support. He's just a team guy. He wants it to sound good, as Avery Neves will battle the sun and wind, hits the padding there on the railing in front of the first base dugout, just out of the shot there of our camera. Neves could not pull it in. It's a foul ball that actually hit the top of the dugout. Talked about the wind today, fans. It's a sustained about 10 or 15 mile an hour winds, but the gusts up in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range. So it is tough on the pop-ups and the fly balls. And it is a sunny day. Neves got the shades on, battling things there as Garrett Kyle fouls another one off to that side. Zach Potts working here for the Lynchburg Hornets in his 2nd start. Deep fly ball to left. That will take the left fielder back slightly, but then Logan Webster adjusts and comes in and makes that grab pretty much no problem for out number 1 in the top of the 3rd. Robbie Elzinger back to the dish for York. As we get the thumbs up from Grayson Thurman, it's sounding better. The public address system here at Lynchburg. Some of that might be the wind. That wind starts blowing out there, fans. You can't hear the speakers. Potts with a great action pitch there to go right at Elzinger. It comes in as a ball, and the umpire will get a second opinion from the first base ump, who says that Elzinger did not go around. Walked in his first at bat. Elzinger's on base at a .591 clip this year, and he's going to be on base again as that shot gets past the diving Brandon Garcia. Elzinger around first, got about a 1/3 of the way to 2nd there, but then shut it down and took it back to first base. So Elzinger's hot season continues. Excellent approach there from the left-handed leadoff man. It brings up Gabe Trevina. Gabe Trevina, number 6 for York. He's hitting .421 on the season. A pretty great start to the campaign as well. Leadoff man on. Leadoff man is not on, actually. Garrett Kyle flew out to left field, fans. I beg your pardon. But Robbie Elzinger, the leadoff man in the lineup, is on for the 2nd time today. So his on-base percentage will continue to climb as Potts kicks and deals out of the stretch. Another foul ball over the first base dugout. Potts gets a lot of those, again, with that deceptive delivery, the velocity, the movement, all the things you want from a starting front line guy. Zach Potts has that. He was 8-4 last year for Lynchburg. He's already 2-0. Looked like a delay steal there from Elzinger. Hornets will not get him at second. The helmet goes flying off the head of Robbie Elzinger, but that's a stolen base. It's an 0-2 count. Looked like he did not take off on the pitch to me, fans. I think it was a delayed steal. But regardless of how it happened, Elzinger now stands in scoring position with one away for York. It's a 1-2 count on Gabe Trevina. Struck out in his first at-bat. One of 4 strikeout victims today for York. Potts went upstairs again. Trevina did not offer at that, and the count's 2-2. Can hear that wind a little bit on our field microphone, and probably see the flag there over the scoreboard in right center field. Wind has actually died down just a little bit. Here's a bouncing ball to first. Potts getting over, but not necessary, as Neves will step on the bag himself for out number 2. Michael Tenenny up to bat now for York. Struck out in his first at bat. It's a fastball up and away that Potts got Tenenny on. Michael Tenenny enters the ball game with a .333 average. He's driven in 5 for York on the young season. Riding a 3-game winning streak, the Spartans are. Hornets are on a 4-game winning streak. This is game 7 of 40 for Lynchburg, in the regular season anyway. As Potts gets ahead again. First pitch strike against Tenenny. Now it's an 0-2 count as he fouls that one back. Tenenny, I think, asking the umpire to count. It is 0-2 with 2 gone. See what approach Potts takes here. You try to get one off the plate or maybe upstairs. You got him on a fastball up and away once. Yeah, looked like they went there. This ball tapped at the edge of the dirt. Fiedler comes out, fires a strike to first base, and the 3rd inning is done. It's 1 hit, but 1 left on for York College. They're still scoreless. Lynchburg leads at 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Getting ready for the bottom of the 3rd between Lynchburg and York. Kyle Haney hanging out with you on a sunny Saturday. First one in March. We hope your March is off to a marvelous start. We know we've got fans of York College listening all around. It sounds like they might be watching and tuned in Mississippi. We'll send a shout out to my buddy Austin Higley, who is a huge baseball fan, ready for Orioles season. Sounds like he is watching the broadcast. And a great baseball fan, Bruce Beckett, who is actually from Brighton, England, but he is a huge baseball fanatic, fans. This is a global game. You know that. As Brandon Garcia, a shortstop for Lynchburg, will flare one into left center, and the center fielder comes on to make the grab. That was Robbie Elzinger that got there in time, and there is 1 gone in the bottom of the 3rd. Cam Lane up to the plate, struck out in his first at bat. It's a 1-0 ball game at the moment. Lynchburg on top. They scored 1 in the first. No hits, no runs, nobody left on in the 2nd inning. Get back to the top of the order, though. Offensively, you feel like you're ready to reload and score another 1 or 2 runs. Lynchburg has been good about just kind of steadily scoring runs against teams. They got 1 run in the first 3 innings each against Eastern last weekend. It was 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Hornets tacked on an insurance run in that game against Eastern. They end up winning 4-2. And then the offense came alive and exploded in game 2. in a win on Tuesday at William Peace. Oh, that ball got dropped. That ball got dropped. I thought it was just going to be a regular F7 flyout for Cam Lane. I was going to continue the commentary about Lynchburg's offense, but the left fielder missed that one. That was Brendan Martin who made that really good play earlier, battling the wind and sun. That one, it looked like Martin got the glove on it, and then it just kind of popped out. I think he got to it fine. I do think the wind was a factor, but he got to the ball and probably feels like he should have pulled that one in. It's an E7 that gets Cam Lane to second base with the All-American Avery Neves at the plate. Neves is 0 for 0 with a run scored and a walk so far in this one. He's ready to do some damage with a runner on second. Takes the breaking ball in the dirt. Nice job by Bucci to square it up and then run down the loose ball before it got out of the dirt circle there to keep Lane at second base. So that's one that will not make the head coach for York, Mike Scappa, too happy. A tough sky today. As I mentioned, no clouds. It's windy, it's sunny, but you feel like you should pull that one in for sure. Looks like Neves did offer. The count goes to 1-1 with one gone here in the bottom of the third. Was in the midst of talking about Lynchburg's offense, how they can score at that steady rate, but they can also explode for some big innings as well. 7 runs in the third inning in their victory against William Peace on Tuesday. Hornets beat William Peace 11-10 in Cary, North Carolina. It's a 10-10 ball game going into the top of the ninth. This man that you're seeing at the plate right now, Avery Neves, ended up driving in the winning run. Neves was 1 for 5 on the day, which maybe seems like a letdown for a guy that hit .419 last season. But again, that's his class and his quality. He can impact a game even when he's not having his best day. He can still step up when the time is right and deliver. That's what he did on Tuesday in Lynchburg's win against William Peace. Avery Neves has got a 2-2 count right now. One going in the bottom of the third. Cam Lane is the runner on second for the Hornets. Zach Reed still on the bump for York. Ready to deal to Neves. Fastball up and in that Neves kind of walls up, puts the shoulder to the chin and gets out of the way of. And now the count is full. Neves has got great protection behind him offensively. Logan Webster already with a hard RBI single in this ball game. We'll talk about that scouting report and how teams pitch to Neves, what you can do against a guy who's one of the all-time best. He's walked 12 times on the season, so that's part of what teams are doing. Neves will roll over this one. Ground ball to the third baseman. Long throw across. First baseman had to come off the bag, and Neves is safe. Santarpia climbed the ladder to pull the ball out of the sky, but couldn't get back down to the base in time. And now we'll turn to our official scorekeeper, Caroline, and get the hit or error verdict. She does not want to give that verdict. She wants to think about this one for a little bit. Either way, Neves is on first. Lane has to hold at second. A good play by Santarpia in the fact that he got upstairs and got to the baseball. If that gets by him, it might be out of play on the hillside down the first base line, or at the very least, Lane is going to third and Neves probably to second on the overthrow. So give Santarpia some credit there for getting upstairs and saving at least a base and maybe more for York. It's runners on first and second now for Lynchburg, as Logan Webster will take a ball up and in. 1 for 1 on the day so far. Webster came into the game hitting .364. He's driven in 6 now on the season, the sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia. Right-handed throwing Zach Reed, looks in, deals, short lead from Lane. Webster going to the same spot. He got his hit, but this one's more elevated and will be caught in center field by Elzinga. Lane will tag up and head to third. Neves has to hold at first, so it's runners at the corners with 2 gone now in the bottom of the third. And Jackson Harding will step to the plate to see if he can drive 1 or more in here with 2 away. Talked about Elzinga as a leadoff man for York, having a fantastic season. Starting to see what he can do in the outfield as well. Very good defender out there Robbie Elzinga for York College. Left-handed hitting Jackson Harding. Grad student will watch that one go. It is a called strike on the outside corner. Neves bluffed the steal at first. Got the catcher's attention. 0-1 count now for Jackson Harding. Left-handed swinger from Randolph Henry High School. Not too far of a drive here from Lynchburg. It's Charlotte County. It'll still classify as Central Virginia. Jackson Harding hit 308 games last year, some injury issues. He started 59 in his career, and he's in the lineup hitting 5th here for Lynchburg today. Neves with another big jump at first as Harding swings through that one. 0-2 count, 2 gone. Wonder if we'll see Neves on the move here sometime soon. We briefly touched on his speed, but Avery Neves has over 40 stolen bases in his college career. 42 to be exact, fans. Looked like he was going to go there as Reed threw over. Kind of wrong-footed Neves, but he was able to get back in time. Actually didn't even need to slide at first. 0-2, 2 gone. Bottom third at Fox Field in Lynchburg. Reed looks in, short set, delivers inside. Neves was on the pitch, and that ball will skip away, and it's number 34, Cam Lane, that will come scamper home. Second run of the afternoon for Lynchburg. Comes on the pass ball, wild pitch. Neves took off. There was going to be no play there because the ball was not fielded cleanly by Bucci. It's an 0-2 pitch that you kind of had to think Reed wasn't going to just throw right down the middle. That one skipped before it hit Bucci's glove. He was unable to slide over and give it the hockey goalie-style block there. Could be more bad news for York because Neves, a great runner, is now in scoring position. Ball over the shortstop's head. Could end up being a tough play. Nope, camped under it in left is Brendan Martin, and that's how the inning will end. Jackson Harding flies out to left field. Lynchburg does get 1 on the board. They lead 2-0 after 3 complete here at Fox Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. It's a run in the bottom of the first and a run in the bottom of the third for Lynchburg. They lead 2-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. Zach Potts still on the mound for the Hornets. Started twice this season. He's gone 6 in both games. If you're Potts, you definitely have the mentality that anything less than 6 will be a disappointment here today. But there's so much more to that. Pitch count, how you feel, how the other team is hitting you, all those things. But just as a baseline, you got to think Potts wants to stay out there for a while today. Excuse me. The ball is caught in right center by Carson Atkins, and 1 pitch, 1 gone for York here in the top of the fourth. It brings up the left fielder Brendan Martin to the plate. A single already. 1 of 2 hits this afternoon for York so far against Zach Potts. He'll show the bunt, take the strike. Seen a couple players from York show that bunt. That seems to be a part of their offensive attack. I talked about their extra base hits that they've been racking up all season long. York comes into the ball game with 10 doubles, 3 triples, and 3 homers. And remember, fans, that's just in 4 games' work. So those are all pretty good numbers as the count goes 0-2 on Martin. But you've already seen Martin show the bunt there. He'll slap this one in the right field. That's down on the green grass here at Fox. Fielded quickly. Oh, almost almost had a play at first base there as the right fielder Jackson Harding got to that one, fired it into the cut man who was Ryan Long, and Long took a peek to see how big the turn was by Martin. But hats off to Brendan Martin, 2 hits on the day, and he's on board with 1 gone. Yeah, Martin showed the bunt there. We saw a bunt attempt earlier from York. Seems like teams used to bunt so much more, fans. Of course, in the really old days going back, you'd see ball clubs try to put down 3 or 4 base hit bunts a game. You get a runner on first and second with nobody gone. It was almost mandatory that you were going to sacrifice bunt. You wanted to put some pressure on the defense. When the bats changed in college baseball 10 or 12 years ago, teams started bunting again. The bats just didn't have the same pop, but seems like things have gone back to just get up there and bang and try and hit the ball to the wall or over the wall. There's another single to right field. Harding will fumble this one briefly, but not enough for a runner to get an extra base, and it's back-to-back singles for York. That was Bryce Schaefer going with the pitch and sending it into right field. Runners on second and first now for York with Chris Bettler at the plate. He bounced out to first in his first at-bat. Probably not the bunt here with 1 out. As I was saying, fans, it's nobody out that you're going to have the sacrifice bunt. But you'd even see teams with just a runner on first and nobody out. They'd get the sacrifice bunt to get that runner in scoring position, give yourself 2 outs to try to drive him in. But you just don't see the bunt that much anymore. It was always an early season thing as well. Ball's cold, it's not traveling. You probably don't quite have your A swing yet as Potts fields this one to second for 1. No, the umpire will call him safe at second, but out at first. And Garcia was coming across and tried to drag the bag there. Lucas Jones is out of the dugout for Lynchburg, looking in the field umpire's direction, asking what he saw there. I think Jones wants to go out and have a conversation with that field umpire. Yep, they're going to get together here. They'll meet on the third base line. I think this is one, as a manager, you're just asking the umpire, so what'd you see there? Walk me through that. You kind of want the umpire to tell you in his own words, and then the good coaches are going to read how much conviction the umpire delivers that answer with, how confident he is in the answer. And it seems like Coach Lucas Jones is satisfied with the answer because he'll walk back to the dugout. So it was a bouncing ball back to Potts. He turned nicely and threw to second. The throw was slightly to the right field side of the bag, and Brandon Garcia, in the umpire's opinion, could not hold the bag. So safe at second, but out at first as Garcia snapped it over there to Neves for out number 2 of the inning. Great block by Fiedler. Excellent job to smother that breaking ball in the dirt. As a pitcher, you love that. That gives you confidence to snap off that nasty one if you know your catcher is going to square it up there. York has not scored, but you could argue that this is their best opportunity of the afternoon so far in the top of the 4th. Bucci, the 8-hole man at the plate. The catcher fouls that one away, and it's a 1-1 count. So it ends up being a fielder's choice there for Bettler. Actually, it's not a fielder's choice for Bettler because he got out. It's just a 1-6-3 put out, I guess, if you're scoring at home, fans. And hats off to you if you are. As Bucci drives, this one is short. It hit the runner, and they're going to call him out. Yes, that is the right call. It hit the runner at second base there. It's runner interference to end the inning, and it's really a bit of bad luck for York as that ball was hit sharply. Brandon Garcia, the shortstop for Lynchburg, was going to have a play on it, but it was going to be a difficult one in the hole. So bad break there for York, ends their inning. Lynchburg leading 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Fox Field in Lynchburg. 2 left on for York in the top of the 4th. 2 singles there, back-to-back singles for Martin and Schaefer. But Zach Potts pitches out of it, got a ground ball back to himself that Lynchburg was able to get 1 out on. And then the runner interference, which you just do not see much of, fans, as the infielder has to have a chance to make a play on the ball. And that was Schaefer at second, the designated hitter. And it wasn't that he tried to get hit by the ball, obviously. I'm pretty sure, pretty confident that Schaefer knows the rules. He knows he had to be out of the way of that baseball. He just couldn't get out of the way of it because it was hit that sharply by Emilio Bucci for York. Hard luck for Bucci there. But the runner interference brings an end to the threat in the top of the 4th. And now it's an 0-2 count on Gavin Collins. The third baseman will lead off the inning for Lynchburg. He'll wave at a pitch away, and now there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 4th. Lynchburg leads 2-0. If you joined us late, fans, it's 3 hits for Lynchburg so far. 1 walk for Zach Reed, and the walk was to Avery Neves, so you always have to ask the question, was it the intentional, unintentional walk? Did Reed pitch around Neves, the All-American for Lynchburg, who hit .419 last season? And he's got, every time we have another game, we have to add to the walk record for Avery Neves as Ryan Long will pop a ball up. Bucci might have a play on it. Ditch the mask, but he'll have to watch this one hit the concrete back behind us. And now it's a 1-2 count with 1 gone in the bottom of the 4th inning. Yeah, just the 1 walk so far for Zach Reed. He struck out 6, including the most recent victim there, Gavin Collins. Right-handed hitting Ryan Long, ready to work here with 1 gone. Nice breaking ball in for a strike. That makes the count 1-2, fans. Love that breaking ball action from Reed. At 6'6", he can really get on top of that and get some horizontal break as well. So you get the vertical and the horizontal break with that curveball slider pitch from Reed. Long just got enough of that one and tips it back. We'll redo the 1-2 count. Ryan Long, the second baseman for Lynchburg. 2 strikeouts already. 1 on a fastball, 1 on a breaking ball. Ryan Long enters the game hitting .273. This is start number 4 for Ryan Long. He's got 3 hits on the 2023 season so far. Lays off that one. That was low. 2-2 count. Good eyeball there from Ryan Long to let that one go. Really didn't even offer at it. Didn't twitch. Reed will go with the running fastball in that Ryan Long gets off the handle and is able to keep the bat alive. Hornets don't strike out a ton, which is a trait of a lot of the good teams. They seem to find a way to get on base. Whether it's the base hit, the walk, hit by pitch, reached on error, put some pressure on the defense. Lynchburg on the year has struck out 39 times. They've walked 40 times, so about a 1-to-1 ratio there, basically. The math junkies will not like that statement, but 40 walks to 39 strikeouts. We'll call it virtually even. Fly ball fielded in left. Ryan Long is gone. Brings up Holden Fiedler, who has flied out twice so far in this ball game.
Now at bat, number 23.
Riley O'Donovan is the other starting catcher for Lynchburg. We'll see O'Donovan at some point this weekend. He and Fiedler have been splitting the backstop duties. O'Donovan will DH some as well. Holden Fiedler, an excellent defensive catcher. That's something you talk to all the pitchers about. They love throwing to Fiedler. And he brings some pop with the bat, too. He comes into the game hitting .400, 6 singles on the season, and he's got 111 career hits. So Holden Fiedler, not just a defensive specialist by any means. He can hold his own there in the batter's box, swinging the bat. 2-0 count now for Fiedler. Bottom 4 here at Fox Field in Lynchburg. Fiedler took a good hack at that one and fouled it back. 2-1 now for the catcher, who is another grad student for Lynchburg. So many of those on the Lynchburg roster, and quite a few in college baseball. And of course, if you're not making the connection, fans, a big reason is the COVID pandemic season there. Most everybody got a chance to come back for an extra year. Fiedler flies out to center, and the end of the fourth is upon us now. It's a 2-0 Lynchburg lead as we head to the top of the fifth. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast from Fox Field in Lynchburg on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Top of the fifth on the way here from Fox Field in Lynchburg. Zach Potts still out there for the Hornets. He has struck out 4, but hasn't K'd a batter since the top of the second. Don't know if that's a sign that York College is starting to figure out Mr. Potts a little bit. We'll keep the conversation going in that regard, fans. Garrett Kyle at the plate for his second at-bat. Flew out to left in the top of the third. York College 3-1 on the season so far, as we're not quite ready to start the inning just yet. 4 conference titles for York College. They're in the MAC Commonwealth. They were picked second in the preseason poll there. 12 NCAA tournament appearances for York. So this is a good baseball program, and they're a lot like Lynchburg, where they've had success in a lot of different sports up there at York, as Kyle fouls off the offering from Potts, and it goes to 0-2. Last NCAA baseball appearance for York was in 2021. And, they've been to the tournament 5 times this century. 02, 04, 07, 09, 2010, and then that recent one in 2021. 24-19 last season was the record for York College. They lost some big guns from last year's team, a couple like Hall of Fame type of candidates, retire the jersey type of candidates. Austin Denlinger and Joe Capobianco were 2 of the big boppers from York. Capobianco, 55 driven in last season with 14 home runs. Just really gaudy stuff, but they're gone. Oh, how about the pitch there? Great presentation. The frame from Holden Fiedler, the catcher, to make that low fastball from Potts look really good. And there's another strikeout. 5th K of the ball game for Zach Potts, and it's the second one looking. Robbie Elzinger is back this season, though, and he was a big bopper last year. Led the team in average. He's leading the team in average this year as well. 471 coming into the game. He's 1 for 1 today. So the average is not going to drop, not yet anyway. And Elzinger looks at a fastball at the knees. Okay, maybe the same spot there from Potts that he just struck out Garrett Kyle on. If you can pitch it to knees right there, you're going to be hard to beat. Potts will bounce off the mound. PFP play is complete, and it's a 1-3 put out that will bring up Gabe Trevina.
Now at bat, number 6, Gabe Trevina.
Trevina 0 for 2, 1 strikeout. That was in his first at bat. Trevina's another guy that had good numbers last season, and he's back this year and swinging the bat well to start the 2023 season. He'll fire this one to first. Neves bobbled it briefly, but it stayed under the glove. He runs across the bag for the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. All zeros there in the top of the 5th for York. Lynchburg holding on to the 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now at bat, number 12, Carson Atkins.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Fox Field in Lynchburg. Kyle Haney hanging out with you. Carson Atkins stepping up to the plate for his 3rd at-bat of the afternoon. He struck out twice, and Zach Reed ahead quickly with a swinging strike to begin the bottom of the 5th for Lynchburg. 2-0 the lead. Hornets have 3 hits. They've left 3 on. York, for comparison, has 4 hits. They've left 5 on. Both teams have had some really fine defensive plays and a few defensive miscues in there as well, which I think is to be expected early in the season. Maybe it's just to be expected in baseball. It's a tough game. 1-2 as Atkins watches that one go away for a ball. See if Atkins can set the table. Part of the reason why he's down there in that 9-hole spot, a consistent fixture. He will get on board. The line drive over the jumping second baseman Gabe Trevina. Carson Atkins is there. And Lynchburg has the leadoff man on with nobody away here in the bottom of the 5th. Brandon Garcia at the plate. The freshman is back in the lineup for Lynchburg. Started the first 3 games, didn't play the next 3. But here he is in game number 7 at the top of the order for the Hornets. Atkins, decent lead at first. Garcia, fantastic bunt down to 3rd base. It'll move the runner along. The throw was kind of low and away going to the glove side of the first baseman, but able to scoop it there was Santarpia. And we talked about teams bunting with a runner on first and nobody out. And Garcia does it right there. Call it a sac bunt. It's twofold. It's still an aggressive offensive weapon for a guy like Brandon Garcia because he can run. And you obviously saw his skill with the bat, just the placement, the accuracy of that bunt to keep it about 6 feet inside the 3rd base line. That is just a fabulous bunt there from Garcia. Lane will lift this one into center. Atkins tagging at second. He'll just bluff it and hold there as Avery Neves will step to the plate after the flyout. 2 gone. 2 outs and 2 pitches there for Zach Reed. The starter for York College still out there. Still looks good. Good action on the fastball. Still got the great bite on the breaking ball as well. Avery Neves, the All-American at the plate for Lynchburg, with a runner in the scoring position. Neves hacks at the first and sends it foul. Avery Neves drove in 65 last year. 65 runners driven in for Avery Neves. Got 3 RBI on the season so far through 6 games. A good chance with a fast runner on second base right now for Lynchburg. Atkins will take off, and Neves pounds that one through the hole. Carson Atkins will score standing up, give Avery Neves another RBI, and give Lynchburg another run. Kind of got on top of that fastball and just drove it through the 5-hole there between the 3rd baseman and the shortstop. Avery Neves is 2 for 2 with a walk. He came into the game hitting .313, but there is nothing wrong with Avery Neves. He's showing it right here on first base, a threat to run. 15 stolen bases last year for Avery Neves. Webster will swing at the first one, and
He'll sky this. This could be a tough play. Shortstop and center fielder won't get to it. Neves is going to keep on trucking around third. Watch out for a play at home. Neves will slide in safely. Ball wasn't handled clean anyway, and there's the second run of the inning for Lynchburg. 4 on the board for the Hornets. A tough sky out there with the wind and sun today, fans. Center fielder Robbie Elzinger was playing deep, I think, with Webster and couldn't get to that ball as it just lands in between he and the shortstop, Garrett Kyle. They both gave hard chase to it. It just looked like Elzinger maybe got a little bit of a late start. I think that was what cost York in the end. Such a tough play for the shortstop going back. And Kyle was in shallow center field. He was probably a full 90 feet behind the second base bag as he tried to go after that one. And it does fall between the shortstop and the center fielder to give Lynchburg their second run. And we were just in the midst of talking about Avery Neves being a great base runner. You saw it there, running hard the whole way. It was a fairly accurate throw to home, but Bucci couldn't catch it cleanly, and I'm not sure it would have mattered. I think Neves had the throw beat anyway, even if Bucci does come up with that one. Runner in scoring position now is Logan Webster. He's got 2 RBI on the day with 2 singles. There's one up the middle and off the foot of Reed. Third baseman's going to make a good play. How about a great play to get him at first? Excellent, excellent play from Michael Tenenny to get the redirect off the pitcher Reed's foot. And the first baseman, I think, got clipped as Jackson Harding was coming down the line. Kind of a strange way to end the inning, but really a great play by Tenenny to not give up on it. Fired across the diamond for the out. We'll catch our breath and step aside. Lynchburg adds to the lead 4-0 as we head to the top of the 6th inning at Fox Field. Two runs in the bottom of the 5th for Lynchburg on 3 hits. They left 1 on, and there were no errors in the inning. There was a ball that got between the center fielder and the shortstop, but it was a hit. It was just a tough one to get to. Perfect placement by Logan Webster for his second single of the game. Webster has 2 RBI. Avery Neves had a single and an RBI. Carson Atkins started the party for Lynchburg with a leadoff single, 2-strike single. And there's activity in the York bullpen. Zach Reed with a longer inning there where he faced 6 hitters and had to labor a little bit, had to throw some pitches under pressure. Wonder if we've seen the last of Zach Reed or if Coach Mike Scappa from York sends Reed back out there. Zach Potts is back out for Lynchburg in the top of the 6th. We said he would probably be disappointed if he didn't go 6. Well, Zach Potts is out there to start the inning anyway. Hasn't completed it yet. But he's got 2 strikes on the leadoff man, which is Michael Tenenny, the third baseman who made that fabulous play for York. It was a ball that went off the foot of the starting pitcher, Zach Reed. Great anticipation there by Tenenny to stay after it and fielded it on the move with the glove the same way you'd field a slow roller. Tenenny bounces up the middle. Garcia is there. 3-quarter fire across the diamond, and Tenenny is out at first. Good play there by Brandon Garcia. We've discussed his potent bat, Brandon Garcia. He's at the top of the lineup in a very good Lynchburg team as a freshman. So obviously he can handle the bat, but Brandon Garcia can handle the glove as well for Lynchburg. Excellent play going up the middle to get Tenenny. Santarpia is out. We have a substitute in. it's Jacob Daimling, an outfielder, a freshman for York. Stepping to the plate, left-handed hitter for the Spartans. And no stats on the year for Daimling, so it looks like this is his debut as a freshman. So congrats on the debut for Daimling, and we'll see if he can get a hit. He's behind the count 0-2. Not the easiest guy to start your college career on, Zach Potts. But hey, throw him right into the fire, right? Fastball away, just missed. 1-2 the count now. With one gone, in the top of the sixth at Fox Field. Can hear that wind just a little bit on the field microphone on LHSN. It's been in that 10 to 15 mile an hour range all day, and the gusts up to 20 and 30. We have seen some outfielders and infielders, for that matter, struggle with some balls in the air because of the windy conditions. Potts ready with a 1-2 count. You hear the grunt again, got behind that fastball, but Daimling flares it back, and we'll try it all over again with one gone in the top of the sixth. 2 games tomorrow at Fox Field. York sticks around for a double dip. 11 a.m. first pitch in the first one, and the second game will start about 30 minutes after the conclusion. It's on the schedule as 2 p.m., but that's flexible in those doubleheaders, fans. But we invite you to come out and see us in person here at the Diamond, or definitely watch the game with the online option here with the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Watch out for Daimling. Put a charge into this one. It'll send the right fielder back, and that ball is gone. How about a start to the career for the freshman, Jacob Daimling, number 21 from Palmyra, Pennsylvania, 5'10" freshman, just jumps on the 2-strike offering from Potts and sends it out of here. Wow. Incredible stuff, and York is on the board. The shutout is gone for Lynchburg as Potts gives up the solo homer. Still a 4-1 ball game. Comfortable lead for the Hornets at the moment. But boy, surprising to see the lefty off the bench putting the big charge into that one, sending it over the fence there in deep right field. Brendan Martin still in there. He'll hack at that first one. 0-1 the count. Yeah, a couple players come off the bench for York to try to go retrieve that home run ball. Absolutely get that one back as Brendan Martin will shoot one into left field. But that's a fairly easy play for Logan Webster out there. F7, and now there's 2 gone in the top of the sixth.
Now at bat, number 33, Bryce Schaefer.
Most of the coaches, and Lucas Jones included in this, even if they don't get that ball back, he'll offer a ball up to head coach Mike Scappa from York as something, a keepsake there for Daimling off the bench. That's usually the protocol there, at least for the first one anyway. When you got a bunch of home runs in your career, it's kind of like, yeah, nobody cares. You hit another one out. Garcia, strong throw across the infield, and the inning is over. But York is on the board. Solo home run from Jacob Daimling off the bench to get the Spartans on the scoreboard. 4-1 the Lynchburg lead as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. Jacob Daimling dropping the dime, 10 of 10 in the freshman debut for Jacob Daimling. A solo homer to get York on the board.
Number 15, Gavin Collins.
Daimling is out. Cade Hollingsworth is in at first base, a 6'3" sophomore for York. And We got the answer to our question about the pitching situation for the Spartans. Zach Reed is back out there to begin the bottom of the 6th for the York College Spartans. He's gone 6 innings, so the pitch count is obviously an issue. It's early in the year. That's an issue as well. And then he takes the ball off the foot to end the inning last inning. Jackson Harding with a real shot off the foot of Reed as he was finishing the delivery. Ball caromed over to the third baseman, Teneni, and he made a good play to end the inning and end the threat. Leave a runner in scoring position for Lynchburg. But all those questions we were asking about Zach Reed, wondering if he would return because of those factors, but the big 6'6" right-hander is back on the bump for at least another hitter. Gets in there with a strike, 3-1 count now for Gavin Collins. Collins hitless so far with 1 strikeout. Fastball misses, and that is a walk for Gavin Collins. So he's on board for the first time today. And the Hornets have the leadoff man on for back-to-back innings. Remember, it was a 3-hit inning for Lynchburg last frame. They scored 2 runs. So all things considered, it could have been worse damage for York College. But the Spartans do find themselves trailing by 3 as we start to move into the later stages of the game here at Fox Field. Good slide to block by Bucci to keep that one off the backstop and keep Collins at first. 1-0 the count. Now that you got another factor for Reed, he seems to be falling behind more hitters. Ball 1, ball 2, and offering up the walk there to Collins. Actually, the second walk of the game, fans, so the control has not really been an issue for Reed. And that one just missed. I mean, that's a competitive pitch. It's not like he's all over the place. I think Coach Mike Scappa is obviously keeping an eye on it. You know he is. And he's got those factors in mind as well, all the things that we've discussed, and probably more that we don't even know about. Reed deals, and there's another one that just missed. I mean, he is all around the strike zone, but it's a 3-0 count. You get back-to-back walks, especially late in a start like this for Zach Reed. That might be a reason for Coach Mike Scappa to pull the plug on him. But we'll just wait and see what happens. Middle setup. Reed obliges and hits the target there for strike 1. Coach Lucas Jones giving the signals, which are actually just numbers for Lynchburg. It's numbers, and then each player has the card, the wristband, almost like a NFL college quarterback would have. Got the plays on there. It's a spreadsheet, a grid. You get the number from the coach, you look at it, and it might say, do nothing, swing away, or it might be a hit and run or a steal. That's how a lot of teams are doing their signals now, rather than the coach touching the body and the face, going through the sign sequence. More numbers from Coach Lucas Jones over there in the third base box. Full count, nobody away. Good runner Collins at first. Maybe a hit and run situation. Get Collins a little bit of a head start. Not on the move here as Long fouls another one away. Not quite out of play yet as the trio of York College defenders gave good chase there. Shortstop, third baseman, and left field are all converging in that triangle down the left field line. But the ball finally does hit the Lynchburg batting cage area. And it's a redo of the full count offering coming up. Nobody down here for Zach Reed. Starting arm for York. He stayed out there. He's given up 4. It's been 6 Lynchburg hits, but fairly scattered. Gave up 3 last inning. There's a good pitch that hits the corner, and it's a strikeout looking. Ryan Long is gone with his second K of the afternoon.
Now at bat, number 23, Holden Fiedler.
The catcher, Holden Fiedler, will walk in there. He'll check that wristband. That's what he was doing there, fans. As Coach Jones gave another set of numbers. You saw Fiedler look down at the belt, wearing that wristband around the belt. It's interesting that it's still called a wristband, even if you don't wear it on your wrist. It was the hit and run, and it'll work to perfection for Lynchburg. Fiedler did not get a lot on it, but it was well placed in the area that was vacated by the second baseman who went to go cover the bag. That is textbook baseball on the hit and run right there by the Lynchburg Hornets.
Number 12,
Fiedler with a bloop single. Might be the lowest exit velocity on his single that he's going to have this year, but it is a hit in the books. And great base running, too, by Gavin Collins. Never stopped running as he was coming around second, cruising into third base. Runners at the corner now for Carson Atkins. 1 for 3 on the day. 2 strikeouts, but he got that big inning started last frame for Lynchburg. Bottom of the 6th now. There's the bunt from Atkins. Look at this placement. This is 1 foot inside the line. First baseman's going to have to eat it. It's an RBI bunt single for Carson Atkins. And here I was talking about teams not bunting that much anymore. Atkins drops down an absolute beauty on the line. How impressive was that? Calling an RBI single for Carson Atkins. He's 2 for his last 2, and Zach Reed's day will be done now. Inning started with a walk. He struck out Ryan Long. The bloop single on the hit and run by Holden Fiedler, and then another ball that doesn't make it out of the infield. So Zach Reed's got to feel a little bit snake bit. His day is done when he didn't even give up a hard hit ball, at least in that inning anyway. Excellent use of the offensive playbook by Lynchburg there. We've seen the Hornets with the power game. We know they can hit balls over the fence and to the fence. But here we're seeing the speed and the crafty game, the small ball, the hit and run, the bunt single. Gotta love it. Throwback baseball here on the first Saturday in March. Tolentino is the new pitcher in there for York. It's Yendel Tolentino in the ball game on the mound. He is from York, Pennsylvania. The hometown listed is York, Pennsylvania, but the previous school is in Puerto Rico. So Tolentino on the bump here for York to try to extinguish the fire. He's already made 3 appearances on the season. Comes in with a 4.50 earned run average. He's given up 5 hits in 4 innings of work and 2 earned runs. Yendel Tolentino. It's now a 5-1 Lynchburg lead. 8 hits total now for the Hornets. This is the 3rd inning that they've racked up multiple hits. See if they can make it multiple runs here as Tolentino comes in to a tough spot. There's 1 gone with runners on 1st and 2nd. Holden Fiedler, the catcher for Lynchburg, stationed at 2nd base. And it's Carson Atkins with the bunt single. Fabulous old school baseball from the Hornets. I love it. Brandon Garcia is up to bat. He dropped down a very nice sacrifice bunt in the bottom of the 5th. Let's see what he can do in the bottom of the 6th. Tolentino deals and nails the outside corner for strike 1. Good start there for Tolentino. Yendel Tolentino is a sophomore. So there's another similarity between these 2 ball clubs, York and Lynchburg. They've both got a good mix of young and old. Some veterans, some guys they can rely on, guys with real experience and a robust resume. And then some relative newcomers, some freshmen and sophomore in there. That one just missed for Tolentino. 1-1 the count with 1 gone. First baseman playing in front of the runner at first. Infield around the diamond, double play depth for York. Outfield's medium depth. We've been discussing the wind all day. It has been a factor today. Tolentino ready for the breaking ball that must have just missed upstairs. Good eye from Garcia to run the count to 2-1. Brandon Garcia, freshman from Durham, North Carolina, enters the game hitting under 200, but the on-base percentage is right around 400. He scored 5 runs on the year. Seen what he can do with the glove. We know he can handle the bat. He flares this one out to left field. Going to be a tough play, but it will be caught by Brendan Martin in shallow left. And now there's 2 gone. Cam Lane is the next hitter for Lynchburg, number 34, the designated hitter. He's been on once. That was that error by the left fielder, Brendan Martin, in the 3rd inning. Cam Lane has flown out to center and struck out once. 0 for 3 here for Lane. As a hitter, it's bottom of the 6th. You assume you're going to get another at bat, but you'd like to get one in the books here if you're Cam Lane, especially with 2 runners on. Keep this inning going. Turn the bat over to Avery Neves. Get the All-American a look, maybe with the bases loaded, or Already another runner in there. Lynchburg has scored 1 in the bottom of the 6th. The lead is now 5-1. Lane, the left-hander, ready for the delivery. It's hard to say early in the season from Tolentino. And Lane fouls that one off. 1-1 the count with 2 gone. Neves is 2 for 2 with 1 walk already today. Just 1 for 5 on Tuesday in Lynchburg's road win against William Peace, but the one was a big one. He drove in the winning run as Lynchburg won a slugfest, 11-10 on the road in Cary, North Carolina. Lane fouls that one into the York dugout, sent a couple players scattering. Everybody's okay, though. And now it's a 2-strike approach here for Cam Lane. Number 34 for Lynchburg. Comes into the game hitting 200. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts on the season so far. Tolentino checks the runner, now fires, and this one is out of play. Plenty of chatter and energy from the York dugout. They're still engaged in this one, enthusiastic. Everybody's up on the railing there, and you get the same vibe from the Lynchburg dugout. 98% of the players up on the railing, 1 or 2 sitting down. One of those might be the starting pitcher, Zach Potts. We'll see if he goes back out for the 7th inning for Lynchburg. Tolentino deals and misses. 2-2 the count now with 2 gone. I like this change from Coach Mike Scappa here to bring Tolentino in. It's a bit of a change-up kind of approach here. Reed was throwing the hard stuff with the hard breaking ball. Tolentino, a little bit more finesse, control, location. Seems to have the movement as well. Lane will fight this one off. This could end up being a tough play again, but it's fielded rather casually in left field by Brendan Martin, and the inning is over. So Lynchburg gets 1, 2 left on, 2 singles for the Hornets, 2 bloop singles, 1 bloop single and 1 base hit single there for Carson Atkins that scored the run. We'll go to inning number 7 with Lynchburg leading 5-1. Zach Potts is back out for the top of the 7th for Lynchburg. 84 pitches in the books for Potts. And we'll see how long the Hornets coaching staff lets Mr. Potts go. Goochland High School product. Very good baseball program there in Goochland. Just west of Richmond. Zach Potts misses with the fastball to begin the inning. This is Bettler at the plate for the York College Spartans. Ground ball to second base. Oh, long, let it go right through the wickets. Didn't quite get the glove down in time. Later in the game, that infield dirt gets chewed up more and more, so the hop may not have been true there for Ryan Long, but it's definitely an error, and definitely one that Ryan Long would tell you he should field 99% of the time. But the leadoff man is on for York. Brings up Emilio Bucci, the catcher. He had that bad luck earlier in the game. It was the bottom of the 4th where Bucci hit a shot that actually hit the runner and ended up ending the inning. It was runner's interference to get left on in that 4th inning. You got to feel for Bucci a little bit. might just try to take matters into his own hands and hopefully avoid the runners with the batted balls this time. No, it's just a complete fluke. I mean, as a hitter, you're I don't know what you're thinking as a hitter, because I'm not sure I ever did it in my playing career where I had a ball hit a runner, but I don't know what the equivalent is, what the comparison is for other sports. Bucci will ground this one to second. Could be double play time. Garcia flips to long, and it is. 2 for the price of 1 ball as the leadoff man is erased. 6-4 double three. 6-4-3 double play, excuse me. And it'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Garrett Kyle. So Zach Potts over 80 pitches, probably right around the 90 pitch mark now. That'll really make you feel good as a pitcher. And Ryan Long likes that one as well. That error does not cost the ball club, and he factors into a really good turn there on the double play. Again, Garcia's glove work, fabulous. It was just a textbook ground ball, 6 or 7 hopper, but fielded it cleanly. Great flip, right on target for Ryan Long. Hit him right there at the belly button or right below the letters on the jersey, and the turn to first becomes really easy for the double play. Potts gets that one to go at the knees. It's a 1-2 count now. 2 gone here in the top of the 7th. Potts ready, deals, just missed. Dugout from Lynchburg wanted it. Couple players popped out. Potts will try it again here with a 2-2 count. This one's up and away, not as close. And now it's full to the 9-hole hitter, Garrett Kyle. 0 for 2 on the day, 1 strikeout looking. That was in his last at bat. Potts looks over the glove, likes the sign, ready to throw. There it is. Struck him out swinging to end the 7th inning. Strong work from Zach Potts. He'll stride back to the dugout feeling good, and Lynchburg leads 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Fox Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Lynchburg's offense ready to go to work again here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 5 runs for the Hornets. That comes on 8 hits. They've left 6 on. No extra base hits for Lynchburg in this one yet. They've got 17 extra base hits through the first 6 games. And Lynchburg, offensively, pretty good start to the year 2023. They're averaging just over 8 runs per game. They average about 9 hits per game. It's been 13 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 homers in the extra base category for Lynchburg so far this season. This man stepping to the plate has 1 of those home runs. That was on the early season trip to Georgia for the Hornets. Neves is 2 for 2 today, 1 walk as well. So he's been on board every time. He reached base every game last season for Lynchburg. Same arm out there for York. Yendel Tolentino, the sophomore, gets strike 1 over to begin the bottom of the 7th. 2 ball games tomorrow, fans. 11 a.m. the start time for game number 1 of the double dip between these 2 same clubs. Spartans and Hornets will do it again. It's 2 teams. Let me double check the records, fans, but yeah, they've met 9 times total. No, scratch that. 12 times total. And Lynchburg is 9-3 all time against York. So the Hornets getting the better of this matchup lately. There's still plenty of baseball left to play this weekend and left today. Although we're into the late innings now. Neves working with a 2-1 count. He'll take a hack at that and miss. A lot of coaches will break the game up into thirds. Innings 1, 2, 3. That's sort of the beginning. 4, 5, and 6, the middle innings there, and then
7, 8, and 9, where you got to try to close out wins and or come back when you're down. The championship rounds, if you will. Neves is going to strike out swinging for out number 1. But it's a good way to think about the game. And I think it's classical thinking anyway, beginning, middle, end. That's sort of how we're trained to think. We are in the bottom of the 7th here. Lynchburg holding on to the 5-1 advantage. Logan Webster up 2 for 3 on the day. He'll be looking for hit number 3. Good slurve type breaking ball in there for Tolentino. He finished the previous inning and he's staying out there for York. Obviously managing the bullpen so important when you have 3 games in 2 days like these ball clubs have. Like what Tolentino's bringing to the table, though, this is appearance number 4, so he's obviously a guy that York feels pretty strongly about to come out of that bullpen. No starts yet for Tolentino. All work in relief. Now, the other starters this season for York fans, in addition to Zach Reed, who started this game, bouncing ball to the third baseman. Nice play to move, glove side, and then the scoop at first. Webster is gone. Slow signal there from the umpire, but definitely an out at first base, and that'll bring up Jackson Harding. Zach Reed started the game. It's his second start of the season. And it's also been starts by A.J. Vincenzi for York and Dawson Rittenauer. So, not assuming, but maybe we'll see both those 2 guys tomorrow in the doubleheader. Here's a fly ball lifted into left center field by Jackson Harding. Left fielder will make the grab, and it's a relatively quick 7th inning for Lynchburg as they go down. No hits, no errors, none left on, and no runs. Lynchburg leading 5-1 as we move to the top of the 8th here at Fox Field. Pitching change. We'll tell you about that in just a moment when we come back on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Logan Tapman is on the mound for Lynchburg. Zach Potts' day is done. 7 innings pitched. Gave up 5 hits, 1 earned. That was the solo home run. Struck out 6, walked 1. Zach Potts is in line to get his 3rd victory of the season for the Hornets. He's 2-0 in the season so far. And now Logan Tapman on for Lynchburg. The freshman from Berlin, Maryland. He's thrown 6 innings in 2 appearances so far for the Hornets, and he's on to try to help close this game down. Thought he would be the next man in. That was the word from Coach Travis Beasley, that we thought, pitching coach Travis Beasley. Oh, what a play by Garcia. Not going to get the speedy Elzinger at first, but give Garcia high marks just for getting to it. That's an infield single there. Gets the leadoff man, Robbie Elzinger,
on base again. Third time he's been out there. 2 hits, 1 walk for Elzinger. Gabe Trevina on now. So watch out. Maybe a threat brewing here for York. They trail by 4. Down, certainly not out. Running out of chances, though. 6 outs left. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but we assume pretty much everybody's available for Lynchburg. Wesley Arrington may not be available because he started on Tuesday and did pitch quite a bit. Jack Batchmore also through Tuesday. I think he's good to go, though, is the word from the coaching staff, if necessary. And we can take a peek in the Lynchburg bullpen. Nobody warming right now. So the ball is in Tapman's hands, at least for this inning anyway, and possibly for the 8th and the 9th. He's ahead 0-2 now. With Elzinger on first. Breaking ball in for a strike. It's a K looking and 1 gone now in the top of the 8th.
Now at bat, number 16, Michael Timmons.
Some of this young talent for Lynchburg does come out of the bullpen. Guys like Matt Cassidy, he's appeared in 4 ball games. Logan Tapman, his 3rd appearance. Lot to like in the bullpen for Lynchburg. A lot of young talent. Logan Tapman from Berlin, Maryland. That is on the eastern shore of Maryland. Ocean City area. Might as well be Delaware over there. It's in that little spot in between Delaware and the eastern shore of Virginia, if you were looking for the geography lesson. That's K number 6 on the season for Logan Tapman. Sends that fastball in for a strike. 1-1 now with 1 gone in the top of the 8th. Hit number 2 for Elzinger. He has 2 of York's 6 hits on the day. Comes into the game hitting over 450. So that makes sense. No real surprise there. Fly ball to right. Let's see if this one stays in. Down the corner, it hits the fence. It's at least a double and maybe more. Elzinger is going to get held at third base as the Hornets get the ball into the infield. Cut off there by Josh Jorman, who's back in at first base for Lynchburg. And now 2 in scoring position with 1 gone here in the top of the 8th inning.
Number 24, Cade Hollingsworth.
The threat is definitely not over here. Double off the fence. That's where we saw the homer go earlier in the ball game. And Cade Hollingsworth is in for York. He took over as the defensive replacement. But the wind blowing out in that direction here at Fox Field, so it makes a lot of sense that any ball hit to right field will be somewhat of an adventure. And that one was hit very well. Cade Hollingsworth, sophomore, first baseman pitcher from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. He's got the 0-1 count with 1 gone. 2 runners in scoring position. A great chance for York here. If you're the Spartans, you don't necessarily think you got to get them all back and tie the game in this inning, but you feel like if you can get a couple on the board here, you got a fighting chance and you're right back in this thing. Top of the 8th, though, at Fox Field. And you know the Hornets are very good here at home, very good at holding leads at home. Tapman got the red glove, set, checks the runners, deals. Nice pitch that just missed low. Lynchburg 2-0 at home this season, both of those wins against Eastern, another team from Pennsylvania. 21-2 at Fox last year. Very impressive home record for Lynchburg, and really in the last 3 seasons. That one just missed from Tapman. 3-1 count. Hollingsworth did not start, but he's got a great opportunity to change the game here for York. As we add to the crew up here in the LHSN press box, the vibe is just getting even better. As that fastball's out, the vibe is not as good for Lynchburg. Bases loaded now for the York Spartans.
Number 4, Brendan Martin.
Still no activity. No, I'm wrong. There is activity in the Lynchburg bullpen. I believe it's the lefty Batchmore getting the arm loose, which makes a lot of sense. He's got 2 wins and a save on the season. Jack Batchmore, one of the guys that Lynchburg is going to rely on to close games out. He can start as well, Batchmore, but it looks like he's got that closer role, and he has been living up to it so far this season. Catcher Fiedler going to go have a conversation with Tapman. And this is probably one of those multi-purpose visits right here, fans. Give Batchmore a bit more time to get loose, but also reassure Tapman a little bit. Give him some positive words of wisdom. And hopefully review the situation here. As a catcher, you're reminding the pitcher, hey, ball back to you. Let's come home. Try to get that lead runner. When in doubt, get it out at first base. Brendan Martin, the left fielder, steps in for York. Still the 5-1 Lynchburg lead, but it feels pretty close right now. Breaking ball misses from Logan Tapman. Importance falls on the catcher here as well. Keep the ball off the backstop. Keep the runners from moving up 90 feet. Got to get real big back there. Good target from Fiedler. Tapman hits it. Strike one. 1-1 the count with one gone. There's a leadoff single from Robbie Elzinger, an infield hit that Garcia got his glove on it short but couldn't get the throw across in time. Gabe Trevina struck out. Teneni on with a double. Then the walk from Hollingsworth. Breaking ball misses down. 2-1 the count now with one gone. Top of the 8th at Fox Field. Lynchburg leads 5-1. That York dugout has been into it, making noise all game. The volume is up, though. They're clearly switched on and ready for this opportunity. Fastball comes across for a strike. 2-2. Big pitch here for Tapman. Big pitch for the batter, Brendan Martin. Outs available with the bases loaded. Lynchburg has turned one double play today. Last inning. There's a ground ball to short. Garcia's got it. Throws to second for the first. Long, and it's dug out by Jorman. They get the double play. How about the defensive work around the diamond from Lynchburg? Josh Jorman in as a defensive replacement. He scoops that one out, and the Hornets escape danger. Bases left loaded, and we will go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Lynchburg holding on to the 5-1 lead. Dawson Rittenauer on the mound now for York College. What an inning there. Robbie Elzinger led it off with a single. Double from Teneni that hit the fence. Bases got loaded for York. But Lynchburg, Logan Tapman pitching out of the danger with some serious help from the infield there. Ground ball to the shortstop, Brandon Garcia. Flips to Long at second for one. And the throw picked out of the dirt by Josh Jorman at first. Second double play the Hornets have turned today, and it comes at a fabulous time. They secure the lead at 5-1, a chance to add some insurance runs here for the Hornets in the bottom of the 8th.
Now at bat, number 15.
Gavin Collins, the leadoff man. He's been on once with a walk. 0 for 2 in the book so far for Collins. Dawson Rittenauer is one of the guys I mentioned that we thought we'd see this weekend. He started a game for York so far this season, but now the 6'3 sophomore in out of the bullpen. Doesn't mean we won't see him tomorrow, especially if he only goes an inning here in this. Collins swings and tips it into the catcher's glove for strike one. And we'll
Tell you again, fans, it's a double dip tomorrow. 2 games for us here at Fox Field and on LHSN. First pitch in game 1 tomorrow will be at 11 a.m. We hope we can see you out here at the ballpark or at least watching online. We know we got a bunch of people tuned in online right now. Rittenauer took a long time to get the signal and get ready, but in the end, it's a strikeout looking as Collins takes that one on the outside corner. Second K of the day for Gavin Collins. Here comes Ryan Long. He struck out twice, 0 for 3. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Long will hack at the first. Going to be a tough play. In the hole, 1 bounce off the dirt. Great stretch at first there from Hollingsworth. Gets the out. Impressive all the way around the diamond. Garrett Kyle, it hit the glove and popped out. He was able to grab it on 1 bounce off the dirt. Strong throw across and a good stretch from Hollingsworth. And it feels like it could be another quick inning there. The strikeout and then first pitch swinging from Long. 2 outs and 2 pitches, and here comes Holden Fiedler. He has 1 hit on the day. Fiedler looking for multi-hit action here as that one comes across outside with 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Lynchburg scored 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. That ball is caught down the right field line, and we will go to the top of the 9th. Hornets look to close it out and get win number 6 on the season. Stay with us. It's coming up next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Top 9 here as Lynchburg looks to close out win number 6 on the season. It'll be 6, 7, 8 leading off for York. Bryce Schaefer, number 33, steps in to face Logan Tapman, who pitched out of trouble in the top of the 8th there. Got a strikeout and then the double play ball to extinguish the flames that were starting to build up for the York College Spartans. First pitch in for a strike. Got to give you a real shot of confidence if you're Logan Tapman to see your infield turn that double play. Impressive stuff. Yeah, it looks like he's feeling it out there now. 0-2 is the count on Bryce Schaefer. Schaefer's got a single on the day, and York College would love to see him on base. Going to need 4 to tie it up here if you're the Spartans. Breaking ball down, not a bad pitch from Logan Tapman. Zach Potts in line for the win. Went 7 strong, 1 earned run. It was the solo home run that was so impressive. There's a foul ball. It was the solo home run that was so impressive from Daimling, excuse me, Jacob Daimling. I beg your pardon, fans. Jacob Daimling came in off the bench
Freshman's first college at bat, goes yard on the road. And that's the only run of the day for York. There's a fastball that just nibbled the bottom of the zone. But it is a ball. 2-2 count with nobody gone. Yeah, Jacob Daimling, freshman from Palmyra, Pennsylvania. Long ball, the only run for York here today. In an offense that really had been clicking and putting up some great numbers. Breaking ball for a strike. And Schaefer is gone. Out number one in the ninth. Logan Tapman with the strikeout. Our crew today has been so impressive. Delaney on the PA work. We've got Ryan and Carolyn and Evan. I hope it looks good and sounds good, fans. We even had our executive producers, Sam and Tim, stop by and pop their head in, and we'll get the whole crew tomorrow. It'll be all hands on deck for 2 baseball games tomorrow here at Fox Field. It is always a blast to watch a game here. And our fans, I think the crowd has grown. We had some other activity on campus, a big lacrosse game, top 10 matchup between Salisbury and Lynchburg. I think some of those lacrosse fans have made their way over. I believe equestrian was in action today. Men's and women's tennis in action today. Softball, Lynchburg softball's on the road. And I think Lynchburg women's lacrosse, a game at Ohio Wesleyan. Some of those may be completed or they may be in action. If Logan Tapman keeps throwing the ball like this game will be complete soon. Across for a strike there to make it a 2-1 count with 1 gone. Tapman fires that one in. Good low fastball that just missed. Logan Tapman, a freshman. This is inning number 8 on the season in 3 appearances. He struck out 8 now. Tapman deals. This ball will get slapped into right field for a single. Chris Beetler on board with the hit, and now it's Emidio Bucci, the catcher for York, up again with a chance to keep the game going and perhaps get a potential rally started. If you're Logan Tapman, you don't want to see anybody on base in this 9th inning, but I think you still feel pretty comfortable. Bucci is 0 for 3 on the day. I think that runner's interference, that's the other thing about that runner's interference back in the 4th, fans. Bucci hit a shot to the shortstop area that hit his teammate. I think that runner's interference goes against your batting average, which is really awful for Bucci. I'll double check that, though. That's one of those weird things about baseball that you just don't see it very often, so it's hard to remember exactly how it works statistically. Garcia, the shortstop, was going to have a play on that ball that hit the runner, but it was going to be really tough. Bucci swings at this one. Fiedler will give chase with the mask off, but he'll have to watch that one. Karam out of play. And now it's a 1-1 count. Logan Tapman on the bump for Lynchburg, trying to close it down here. Lynchburg ranked 13th in the country, and they enter at 5-1 today. One of 3 ODAC teams ranked in that Division III top 25 poll. Randolph-Macon and Shenandoah are the others. Here's a ground ball up the middle of Bucci. Hornets might do it again. Garcia, the jump throw. Jorman digs it out, and the ball game is over. Brandon Garcia back in the starting lineup at shortstop with an excellent play. Steps on the bag, hurdles the runner, throws it over to first, and Jorman picks another one. 3rd double play of the ball game for Lynchburg, and they do get win number 6 on the season. Hornets move to 6-1. They've won 5 in a row. It's a 5-1 victory for the home team. We are back at it tomorrow. Double dip from Fox Field. First game at 11 a.m. And you can check it out live, as always, right here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Kyle Haney saying so long. We'll talk to you again tomorrow for more baseball between York and Lynchburg.